Once upon a time, in a small Igbo village called Immerse, there lived a humble family of 5. The father, Okeke, was a hard-working carpenter, known throughout the village for his skill with wood and his unwavering honesty. His wife, Emeka, a gentle and caring woman, made her living as a petty trader selling fresh vegetables at the village market. They had 3 children: Emeka, the eldest son, known for his adventurous spirit; Chidi, the second son, a diligent student; and Adaeze, their only daughter, who was kind-hearted and obedient. Though they lived in a modest circumstance, Okeke and Nneka's home was filled with love, laughter, and contentment. Each evening, after a long day's work, the family would gather together and Okeke would share words of wisdom with his children. His voice was firm, yet gentle, as he imparted the values he held. "My children," Okeke would begin, his eyes full of sincerity, "work hard, but never soil your hands in evil. Patience is key, for God blesses those who remain faithful." Emeka, however, was not easily satisfied. Restlessness gnawed at him as he looked around at their small home and the meager earnings his parents brought in. The seed of discontent had taken root in his heart. "Papa," Emeka would often ask, his voice laced with frustration, "you have been working all your life, but where is the blessing you speak of? Why are we still poor? Why are we still living in this kind of house?" Okeke, with the patience of a man who had seen much in his lifetime, would smile and place a reassuring hand on his son's shoulder. "Not all who are rich are happy, my son. Wait on God, He has His own time." But Emeka, young and eager, could not see the wisdom in his father's words. He longed for a life beyond the simple one they led, a life of words and comfort. Tragedy struck one fateful day when Okeke fell ill. The illness came swiftly, and without mercy, the family, lacking the funds for proper medical care, watched helplessly as the man who had been their rock slipped away. The grief was overwhelming, but Emeka's pain was compounded by anger at God for taking his father, and anger at the life of poverty they had endured. Despite his sorrow, Nneka remained strong, holding fast to the values she and Okeke had instilled in their children. "Do not blame God, Emeka," she would remind him gently. "And remember, never soil your hands in evil." Life, however, had to go on. Emeka took over his father's carpentry work, trying his best to fill the void Okeke had left behind. Chidi and Adaeze continued their schooling, determined to make something of themselves in honor of their father's memory. The struggle was real, but the family was united in their determination to preserve. One day, a figure from the past returned to the village: Emeka's childhood friend, Obinna. Unlike Emeka, Obinna had left the village years ago and had returned in a flashy car accompanied by wealthy friends. His arrival stirred the village and rumors quickly spread about his newfound wealth. Emeka, curious and envious, could hardly believe his eyes. Obinna, the boy who had been known for his laziness and lack of ambition, was now living the life Emeka had always dreamed of. After the burial of Obinna's mother, who had passed away in relative obscurity despite her son's wealth, Emeka sought out his old friend. The 2 men rekindled their friendship, and Obinna, eager to flaunt his success, took Emeka under his wing. They visited the finest bar and eateries, spending lavishly without a care. The wealth, the power, the luxury, it was intoxicating. One night, unable to contain his curiosity any longer, Emeka asked the question that had been burning inside him. "Obinna, How do you make all this money? I'm tired of struggling, I want to be rich like you. Obinna looked at Emeka with a knowing smile, his eyes gleaming with mist of pride and something darker. Are you sure you have the heart to make money like I did? It's not easy, Emeka's desperation had concluded his judgment. I'm ready, Obinna, he replied with hesitation. I'm tired of suffering. I don't want to end up a loser like my father. I want to be rich. Obinna nodded as if he had expected this answer all along. Then come with me to the city. I will introduce you to my business partners. That night, Emeka returned home with his mind made up. When he told his mother of his plans, Nneka's heart sank. She knew the path Obinna had taken could not have been an honest one. Emeka, please be careful, she warned. Her voice filled with concern. Obinna's sudden words is suspicious. Remember how his mother suffered and died in poverty? Even though her son had this kind of money, something is not right here. But Emeka was too blinded by the allure of wealth to heed his mother's warning. He was determined to follow Obinna to the city, convinced that his fortune awaited him there. Upon arriving in the city, Emeka was awestruck by the luxury that surrounded Obinna. Obinna's lifestyle was beyond anything he had imagined. Expensive cars, a grand mansion, servants at his beck and call. It was a life Emeka had always wanted. He was eager to learn how to achieve it. The following day, Obinna took Emeka to meet his business partners. They traveled down a narrow, bushy path that led to the desolate area far from the city's bustling streets. As they walked, the atmosphere grew increasingly eerie, but Emeka, driven by his desire for wealth, pushed any doubt aside. Eventually, they arrived at a secluded shrine, hidden deep within the forest. The shrine was encircled with red cloth, draped over ancient statues, and the air thick with the stench of decay. Emeka's heart raced, but he was determined to see this through. Inside the shrine, they were met by an old, sinister man known as the Wise One. His eyes were cold and calculating as he assessed Emeka. Obinna introduced Emeka as a new recruit, eager to join their rank and gain wealth. The wise man's voice was low and forbidding as he asked Emeka, "Are you ready? There will be no turning back after now." Emeka, desperate to escape his life of poverty, agreed without hesitation. "Yes, I'm ready, the wise one." The wise one then laid out the first condition. Emeka will be granted wealth beyond his wildest dream, but he must never help any of his family members. The second condition will be revealed after 5 years. The word hit Emeka like a blow to the chest. "I can't agree to this," he cried, his voice filled with anguish. "The whole reason I want to make money is to help my family, especially my mother." But the wise man's gaze was unyielding. "You have already agreed. There is no turning back. If you live, you will die. And remember, any of your family member you helped, that your family member will die. So do not help your family members." The wise man resounded once again. With a heart heavy with regret, Emeka accepted the terms and was initiated into the court. The next day, through the wise man's voice, Emeka became very stickingly rich. But the words that had once seemed so alluring now felt like a curse. He couldn't return home, for fear they would ask for help, a help he could not give. 3 years passed, and Emeka's family continued to struggle in the village. Nneka's health deteriorated, her heart condition worsening with each passing day. Chidi and Adeze did their best to take care of her, but the medical bills were mounting, and their resources were dwindling. One day, a neighbor mentioned to Nneka that Emeka was now very rich in the city, helping others, while his family suffered. Shocked and confused, Emeka sent Adaeze to the city to find her brother. When Adaeze arrived at the city, she was taken aback by the opulence that surrounded her. But her joy quickly turned to sorrow when Emeka, with tears in his eyes, told her, Adaeze, go back home. I do not have any money to give you. This period has been very, very bad for me and business has not been moving fine. I'm sorry, I cannot give you any money. Adaeze's heart broke as she looked at the brother who had once been so loving, now hardened by words. She couldn't understand why he was refusing to help, and Emeka, unable to explain, ordered his gate man to send her away. When Adaeze returned home and relayed what happened to Nneka wept bitterly. She realized then that Emeka had been ensnared by dark forces. His soul corrupted by the words he had sought. Yet, Nneka's faith remained unshaken. My children, she said, her voice steady, despite the tears, trust in God. He will bring someone to help us. Do not worry, my children. And indeed, divine providence soon arrived in form of a wedding suitor who married Adaeze and paid for Nneka's surgery, even sponsored Chidi's education. 2 years later, Emeka was summoned back to the occult shrine. The wise one reviewed the second condition in order for him to maintain his wealth. Emeka, you must kill 2 of your family members, the wise one said to Emeka. If you refuse, you will die, and the riches would vanish. Wise man, please, I cannot kill my own family, please, Emeka shouted, his voice echoing through the airy shrine. I would rather die than harm them. The wise man's voice was cold and different. You have but 10 days to complete this task, or you will die. The wealth you cherish will be stripped away from you, and you will meet a fate far worse than death. Emeka staggered back, his mind reeling. The weight of the decision pressed down upon him like a heavy stone. He could hardly breathe as he realized the cost of the wealth he had acquired. Determined to avoid a gruesome fate, Emeka returned to the village, his heart heavy with despair as he approached his mother's home. He saw Nneka standing at the entrance, her face lighting up with hope at the sight of her son. Emeka, she cried, her voice trembling with emotion. You're back. Emeka could barely hold back his tears. The sight of his mother's unconditional love and the memory of their shared hardship tore out his heart. He fell to his knees before her, sobbing uncontrollably. I'm sorry, Mama. I'm sorry. He managed to choke out. I've made terrible mistakes. I was deceived by the law of words. I have been given an impossible task, the one that would force me to harm those I love most. Nneka's eyes widened with shock and concern. What are you saying, my son? What have you done? With a heavy heart, Emeka revealed the full truth about his part with the occult group. Nneka listened in silence, her face etched with sadness as she grasped the depth of her son's suffering. This is a grave matter, she said, but we must remain steadfast in our faith. God will guide us through this darkness. Overwhelmed by the burden of his choices, Emeka knelt down before his 2 siblings, Chidi and Adaeze, and begged for their forgiveness. I am prepared to accept whatever fate awaits me, he said, his voice breaking. I cannot harm you, and I will not allow myself to be swayed by the wicked demands. Chidi and Adaeze, their hearts aching with empathy, embraced their elder brother, offering him solace. We forgive you, Emeka, Chidi said. You have been deceived, but we stand by you. We will face this together. The next day, as Emeka drove back to the city, he had a terrible car accident and died. His family mourned him deeply, but they knew he had died with a clear conscience. The tale of Emeka serves as a timeless reminder of the perils of seeking wealth through deceit and the importance of staying true to one's value. True happiness and fulfillment comes not from material wealth, but from the love and the support of family and a clear, honest conscience. If you enjoyed this story and the lessons it imparts, please subscribe to our channel for more captivating tales filled with wisdom and life lessons. See you next time. Goodbye.